I was a very angry kid. I lived a life where I wasn't afraid of anything. And if I was angry about it, you were gonna know it. I was vindictive. I did some really violent things to people. You know, acts of destruction. You know, breaking windshields out of people's cars and setting fire to things. You know, I had been experimenting with drugs since I was 11, and my alcoholism and my drug addiction really spun out of control. I started freebasing cocaine. This was to go on right through my adult life, and heavy metal became my escape. I wound up being a character inside of a heavy metal band, and I played a demon, and I would rise up out of coffins. I've been electrocuted on stage. I've had my head cut off, and just a lot of grotesque, dark imagery that my job was to portray on stage. And I lived the lifestyle of what I thought was a vampire. I would tell you I thought I was a vampire. I didn't go around drinking blood or anything, and I wasn't really a satanic believer in the sense of rituals of Satanism, but I was living the fine line right along with it. In 2006, I was at the tail end of just yet another 5-day crack and alcohol binge. For whatever reason, I pushed the envelope that day. I wound up ODing and lost a heartbeat and everything for over 5 minutes, and I fell into a really bad place. What I experienced isn't what I've heard described. There was no white lights for me. I had this sensation of falling. There was the smell of sulfur. There was these loud crunching, grinding sounds. I don't know if you want to say there were voices, but it sounded like screams and torment. And it was very dark. You couldn't see anything at all. It seemed like forever. I didn't know what was happening, and then all of a sudden, I felt this like grab on my collar, and just yanked me, and that's when I came to. I know now it was only the Lord. It could have only been Him that pulled me out and showed me His mercy. Shortly thereafter, I was just about a year sober, and I was at a particular place, and then she walked, what was to become my wife. By meeting her, I was really blessed with the ultimate relationship, and the best relationship I was ever given was the one that I have with Jesus today. And when He pulled me out of that darkness, that's when He gave me power. It was a gift. And the power was being able to stop being the way I was and to start living a life and start giving to others. My wife kind of led me to Joyce, but little did she know I had my own history with Joyce that nobody knew. Back in the days when I was active and I was still using drugs and alcohol, I remember roughly around 4 o'clock in the morning stumbling across her on television, thinking to myself, who is this? I didn't like her, but for some weird reason, she did get my attention. When I started watching Joyce with my wife, it was different. We've been going to Joyce Meyer conferences out in Hershey, Pennsylvania for the last 4 years. Pretty much since the first one we've been partnering. Joyce has many different projects going on around the world where she helps a lot of people. You know, there's the obvious side that I would like to be a part of what she does and help people. But for me, it's a little deeper because it's the only way I can kind of make up for some of the wrongs I've done in this life. So I use that as an opportunity to do what I can to make right.